Hello everyone. Today we are going to talk about the cerebellum, the gross features, morphology and functional divisions. The main objectives are the introduction, external features, parts of cerebellum, morphological division of cerebellum, functional divisions of cerebellum, and the assignment. In this picture we can observe both the cerebrum as well as the cerebellum. So cerebellum meaning the little brain, its main function is maintaining tone, posture and equilibrium of the body. It controls the same side of the body directly or indirectly. It contributes to coordination, precision and accurate timing. Its weight ratio between the cerebellum and cerebrum is in adults 1:10 and in infants 1:20. It is located in the posterior cranial fossa. It is part of the hindbrain. It lies behind the pons and medulla oblongata, from which it is separated by the cavity of the fourth ventricle. So anteriorly it is related to the fourth ventricle, pons and medulla oblongata. Posteriorly is the squamous part of occipital bone. It is separated from the cerebrum by a fold of dura mater called tentorium cerebelli. It is connected to the brain stem by three cerebellar peduncles. It consists of two large cerebellar hemispheres which are united in the midline by the vermis. The surface is divided by numerous fissures, transverse fissures, giving it a laminated appearance. It is further divided by a horizontal fissure into superior and an inferior surface. So here you can identify the horizontal fissure which separates the superior from the inferior surface. So anteriorly you can see the pons and the medulla oblongata as well as the cavity of the fourth ventricle. The superior surface is slightly convex. Both hemispheres are continuous with each other. There is no distinction between the hemispheres and the vermis. In the inferior surface, there is a deep median notch separating both hemispheres. The vermis lies in the depth of this depression. The cerebellum contains outer grey matter and inner white matter. The white matter resembles just like a tree called as Arbora vitae or the tree of life. There are numerous fissures on the surface, some deeper than others. These fissures divide the cerebellum into lobes within which are smaller lobules. The main lobes are anterior lobe, middle lobe, and flocculonodular lobe. The fissures seen are primary fissure, which separates the anterior from the middle lobe, the horizontal fissure, which are seen previously, which separates the superior from the inferior surface of the cerebellum, and posterolateral fissure, which separates the middle lobe from the flocculonodular lobe. So here we can see the anterior lobe and the posterior lobe, both separated by the primary fissure. The posterior lobe and flocculonodular lobe separated by the posterolateral fissure. The posterior lobe is further divided into superior surface and inferior surface by the horizontal fissure, and on the inferior surface further divided by the secondary fissure. So now in each surface, that is the superior surface as well as inferior surface, so you are going to find the vermal part as well as the hemisphere part. So in the vermis, the anterior lobe contains the lingula with no lateral projections, then the central lobule with the ala, and culmen with the quadrangular lobule. In the posterior lobe, we have the declive in vermis, and laterally the lobule simplex, folium vermis with superior semilunar lobule. Coming to the inferior surface, in the posterior lobe, tuber vermis with inferior semilunar lobule, pyramid with biventral lobule, and uvula with tonsil. And in the flocculonodular lobe, we have the nodule in the vermis and flocculus in the hemisphere. So same thing is depicted here, the vermal part as well as the two lateral hemispheres, where you can see the lingula with no lateral projections, then the central lobule with ala, the culmen with the quadrangular lobule, the declive with the lobule simplex, the folium vermis with superior semilunar lobule, tuber vermis with inferior semilunar lobule, pyramid with biventral lobule, uvula with tonsil, and nodule with the flocculus. Again, to recapitulate, lingula with no lateral projections, central lobule with ala, culmen with quadrangular lobule, declive with simple lobule, folium vermis with superior semilunar lobule, tuber vermis with inferior semilunar lobule, pyramid with biventral lobule, uvula with tonsil, and nodule with flocculus. So morphological divisions of cerebellum, it is divided into archicerebellum, paleocerebellum, and neocerebellum. So in archicerebellum, which is depicted in green, is the nodule and flocculus along with the lingula. Paleocerebellum in pink, which contains the central lobule with ala, as well as the pyramid and uvula. So rest of the cerebellum is depicted as the neocerebellum. So archicerebellum, phylogenetically, it's the oldest part of cerebellum to develop. It is involved in aquatic vertebrates. It includes the flocculonodular lobe and lingula, so vestibular connection. It controls axial musculature and bilateral movements used for locomotion and maintenance of equilibrium. So it's the oldest part of cerebellum. It receives afferent fibers from vestibular apparatus of internal ear via the vestibulocerebellar tracts. It is concerned with equilibrium. It has connection with vestibular and reticular nuclei of brainstem through the inferior cerebellar peduncle. The afferent vestibular fibers pass from vestibular nuclei in pons and medulla to the cortex of ipsilateral flocculonodular lobe. Efferent cortical fibers, that's the Purkinje fibers, project to the vestigial nucleus, which project to the vestibular nuclei and reticular formation. It affects the lower motor system bilateral via descending vestibulospinal and reticulospinal tracts. Next, coming to the paleocerebellum. It's the next part of cerebellum to appear in terrestrial vertebrates with the appearance of limbs. It includes the anterior lobe except lingula and pyramid and uvula of the inferior vermis. It is spinocerebellar connection. It controls tone and posture and crude movements of the limbs. It is formed of midline vermis and surrounding paravermis plus the globose and emboliform nucleus. It receives afferent proprioceptive impulses from muscles and tendons via spinocerebellar tracts, both dorsal and ventral mainly. It sends efferents to red nucleus of midbrain. It is concerned with muscle tone and posture. Afferent spinal fibers consist of dorsal and ventral spinocerebellar tracts from muscles, joints, and cutaneous receptors to enter the cortex of ipsilateral vermis and paravermis via inferior and superior cerebellar peduncles. Efferent cortical fibers passes to globose and emboliform nucleus, then via superior cerebellar peduncle to contralateral red nucleus of midbrain to give rise to descending rubrospinal tract. Next, coming to the neocerebellum. It is the newest part of cerebellum to develop. It is made up of posterior and middle part of lobe except pyramid and uvula, primarily concerned with regulation of fine movements of the body. It is the remaining largest part of cerebellum. It includes most two cerebellar hemispheres plus the dentate nucleus. It receives afferent impulses from the cerebral cortex plus pons via cerebropontocerebellar pathway. It sends efferents to ventrolateral nucleus of thalamus. It controls voluntary movements, that is muscle coordination. It is concerned with muscular coordination. It receives afferents from the cerebral cortex involved in planning of movements to pontine nuclei, cross to opposite side via middle cerebellar peduncle to end in lateral parts of cerebellum, that's pontocerebellar tracts. It projects to dentate nucleus, which in turn projects to contralateral red nucleus and ventral lateral nucleus of thalamus, then to motor cortex of frontal lobe, giving rise to a descending corticospinal and corticobulbar pathways. Efferents of dentate nucleus form a major part of the superior cerebellar peduncle. So components, connections and functions of phylogenetic subdivisions of cerebellum. So archicerebellum, it is the boldest part, comprises of the flocculonodular lobe and lingula. Its chief connection is to the vestibular apparatus. It maintains body equilibrium. So it is vestibulocerebellum in function. The second is the paleocerebellum, which is next to develop. It contains whole of the anterior lobe except lingula, and it also includes the pyramid and uvula. Its chief connection is to the spinal cord. It maintains muscle tone and finer control of movements. So it mainly belongs to the spinocerebellum. The last to develop is the neocerebellum. It includes whole of the posterior lobe except pyramid and uvula. Its chief connection is to the pons. It is responsible for fine coordination of voluntary movements and is basically cerebrocerebellum. The functional division of cerebellum, that is ante and posterior lobes, 3 zones are seen, mainly the lateral, intermediate and vermis. Apart from this, we have the flocculonodular lobe. So coming to the lateral lobe, so it's connected to association areas of the brain, involves in planning, programming, coordination of body. So main tracts are dentato-rubro-thalamic cortical tracts and descending corticospinal tracts. The intermediate area concerned with control of muscle distal parts, especially hands and feet. Main tracts are rubrospinal tract. Coming to the vermis, so it concerned with control of muscles of the neck, trunk, shoulder and hip. So tracts are vestibulospinal and reticulospinal tract. So apart from this, we have the flocculonodular lobe. It's an extra lobe, functions with the vestibular system. It controls equilibrium. So morphological and functional divisions of cerebellum. So vestibulocerebellum is the vestibulocerebellar tract, that is afferents. Efferents is cerebello-vestibular globio-globulbar. Functions: fixes position of body during skilled movements, maintains equilibrium, controls eyeball movements. Spinocerebellum, dorsal spinocerebellar, ventral spinocerebellar, cuneo-cerebellar, reticulocerebellar, trigeminocerebellar, cerebello-reticular, cerebello-olivary. So it receives tactile, proprioceptive, auditory and visual impulses, controls synergistic activity of agonistic and antagonistic muscles, concerned with skill movements. The last is the neocerebellum, that is pontocerebellar tract and olivocerebellar, dentato-thalamic, dentato-rubral. So smooth motor activity, planning and programming, purposeful and rapid movements, acts as feedback center between cerebral cortex and peripheral motor movements. External features of cerebellum, features and lobes of cerebellum, morphological and functional divisions of cerebellum. So this is the assignment.